One thing that I always notice about flat earthers that are so funny is that they try to set up a nice little slick presentation of their content. And they use psychological tactics and emotional manipulation. You'll notice that most flat earthers, if they do a video that does not have them as the center of the video, if they're like trying to show a video of like a scene or shot on location, they usually have some kind of catchy little music. The music is either an upbeat kind of music or it's kind of like a sad song type of music. And the purpose here is to get people who are on the fence to feel emotionally almost guilt tripped into believing whatever it is that they spew. So you'll notice that the music has like this way of trying to mess with your mind, like, hey, you may as well just get on board because that music's playing, or it'll be that music that's like, oh my God, what a sad revelation of how the truth has been exposed, and unfortunately, you have been duped, and it's so sad, you know. And there's other tactics, but if you ever like just notice the music by itself, it's so lame how flat earthers try to trick people with the music. I also like how they'll take stuff that certainly doesn't prove their point, but they'll make a video saying, "Hey, here's some obvious evidence right here of flat Earth." And I'm watching some of these videos, and these videos, at best, even if you had no knowledge of the subject, at best the videos are inconclusive, right? And as I stated in another video, it's really something how flat earthers like they'll text, in their messages, they do the rhetoric. They'll go on and on about how obvious stuff is, and you look at what they're talking about, and as an uninformed bystander, at the very least, you're looking at this and saying, no, this is not obvious. They'll say something is obvious and they go through this long-winded explanation where they're trying to bend the rules of science or twist someone's, mathematical equations into trying to fit their flat earth garbage. And they'll say, oh yeah, this is obvious. I mean, look at how obvious this enormously complicated process is. It's so obvious. It's like, shut up. Just shut up. Then there's the sarcasm, of course. I'm seeing some of these comments in here, and how you try to directly say, hey, look, let's have a debate about this. Let's discuss the content. Let's go right to it. And they go, oh, ha, 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 you're here because of such and such. Oh, so it's so funny how you're trying to blah blah blah. It's like, no, you spend time trying to convince the uninformed that what they see and how you interpret it is so obvious in order to be compelling. It's like, oh, if I say it's obvious to people who don't know, then they'll be convinced to believe me, because why wouldn't say that something is true if I didn't say it's obvious? It wouldn't be true if I didn't say it's obvious. So the uninformed person, you're basically taking advantage of. There's this psychological effect that people have about following the leader or following the group, and they do these tests on people. Well, they'll get four actors, and the subject will come in, and the actors will look at something and they'll give the wrong answer to what they observe, and then the subject will feel compelled to agree with what the actors are observing in order to fit in with the group. And that's all you guys in the flat earth movement are doing. You're simply trying to psychologically manipulate people who are either too weak-minded to be a leader, too uninformed, and too easily embarrassed. They don't want to look like a fool. And that's all that you do. I mean, I get it. There are people out there that will debate you on the science and on the logic of what you're saying, and I'm all for that. But I'm also attacking the psychological rhetoric that you guys try to use to manipulate people, because that's where the most damage is. So, with that being said, as always, and with all of my videos, I invite any flat earther anytime to debate me on Google Hangouts. And let's see what you got. And each one of your points, I'm going to counter with the facts. And I'm going to let you get the last word. But I'm going to make sure that the very point that you're trying to debate gets resolved and settled. None of your rhetoric, none of your sarcasm, none of your tactics. Just debate the facts of the matter. So let's see what we get.